It's the race of the two seas, from the Tyrrhenian to the Adriatic, a prestigious week-long race across various terrains. Many of the world's finest riders have come here to test their early season form ahead of the Grand Tours and the classics to come. Welcome to Tirreno Adriatico Namid Sport 2018. So the 53rd edition will see 154 riders taking part, representing 22 teams. As is now traditional, the race started off with the usual team time trial, a 21.5-kilometre flat, fast course along the Tyrrhenian coast at Lido di Camaiore, long straight roads along the seafront. A race tailor-made for a high-powered team. Team Movistar, led by new signing Mikel Landa, was first off the ramp. Then Team Sky and four-time Tour de France winner Chris Froome followed behind, boasting a hugely talented lineup. Also out on the roads, teams Dimension Data and Katusha Alpecin. But it was the British team, led home by Gareth Thomas, who crossed the finish line and set the fastest time. The benchmark now 22:28. Meanwhile, another race favourite was out on the course, Fabio Aru and his UAE Team Emirates. And Vincenzo Nibali and Bahrain Merida rolled in 40 seconds down on the provisional leaders Sky. Meanwhile, disaster struck again for Mark Cavendish, suffering a heavy crash and crossing the line solo. Out on the course, Mitchelton Scott were 8 seconds slower than Sky at the halfway point. And the big favourites BMC were finally on the road, with Rowan Dennis and the 2016 race winner Greg van Avermaet in their team. But the Australians fought back, claiming provisional first place, 5 seconds faster than Team Sky. Their lead didn't last though. BMC took the hot seat and Mitchelton Scott's lead by 4 seconds. Last team out on the course was Sunweb and the 2017 Giro d'Italia winner Tom Dumoulin. Let's join the action with the German team pushing hard for the line, but 20 seconds down at the split. Still one more rider than they need, Sunweb at this point, as they swing left-handed now into this absolutely straight final kilometre. Chad Hager, the American, rider number 187.
It was a last-minute replacement into this race, I think. It's a last-minute with Michael Matthews.
Oh yes, of course, the injured Michael Matthews, yeah. That's a disappointment, isn't it? Matthews might have made a real impact on Tirreno Adriatico. Right, so Sunweb now are going to be outside the time of BMC racing, but it's going to be very, very respectable nonetheless. Provisional second place. I think they maybe just slip down to third. Yes, they will, possibly even further than that before they finally stop the clock. Still got 200 metres to go. Finishing the team time trial here at Lido di Camaiore with 5 riders, Dumoulin and Kelderman amongst them, maintaining their position in the general classification, improving it relative to some, losing a bit of time relative to others, and they're 25 seconds down in the end to BMC, which means that BMC, once again, for the 3rd year running, have taken the team time trial. So the last credible threat to them was going to be Sunweb, the very last team off the start ramp, and even they, with all that horsepower in their midst, and Tom Dumoulin, the world individual time trial champion, couldn't dislodge BMC from a repeat of what happened last year, and for this man, another journey into the race leadership over the coming days. So, for the 3rd year running, BMC winning the team time trial, 4 seconds up on Mitchelton Scott. Team Sky in 3rd place. Mark Cavendish, incidentally, was outside the time limit after his crash. So So the GC looked like this after stage one. Damiano Caruso crossing the line first and wearing the blue leaders jersey for the second year in a row.
Yes, it's one of my best favorite races because we are in Italy. It's always a pleasure have a race here. Without Ricci, it's more difficult for us, but I take it easy day by day. We see what's happening.
Well, the first white jersey went to Fernando Gaviria ahead of Stefan Kung and Leonard Kemna.
I am really happy with the team. My team really strong, but other teams more strong. Now I am happy with the young jersey, but I try tomorrow for the win, and now it's good position for Bob Jungels. I try this race for him, and really good job for my team today.
So after stage one, BMC with the race lead once again and the Italian Caruso, but would he be able to hold on to it? Well, 6 more stages of testing racing lay between Camaiore and the finish line at the Adriatic. Stage 2 saw the peloton hugging the beautiful sunny Tyrrhenian coast, heading south from the wonderful Tuscan landscape. 172 kilometres from Camaiore to Follonica. The Montemagno categorised climb shortly after the start, the only significant lump on the entire course. After that, it was entirely flat until the 8.3 kilometre long final circuit in Follonica to be covered 3 times. A suitable finale for the sprinters. Sunshine welcoming the riders in the morning, a very high calibre start list featuring a clutch of champions. The first King of the Mountains was a private affair between the 4 early escapees. Niccolo Baggioli took it ahead of Alexander Filiperov, Guy Sagiv and Jacopo Mosca. Meanwhile, the peloton controlled behind. Then Baggioli dropped back, leaving a trio up front led by former stage winner at the Giro d'Italia, Alexander Filiperov. The group started to push on, the sprinters teams now helping out BMC. Mosca took the first intermediate sprints, jumping the rest and riding clear. The second intermediate sprint was uncontested, with Mosca allowed to take maximum points once more. But the peloton rode hard to reduce the gap, and the fate of the 3 was soon sealed with less than 13 kilometres to go. A big crash inside the last 6 kilometres split the peloton in 2, with a few big names picking themselves up. Time to join the action though, as the battle for position grew ever more intense. Watch out for Katusha Alpecin though, Kittel is still there, although a little bit disjointed once again for Katusha Alpecin. He's separated from his lead-out men. You can see Marcel Kittel towards the right-hand side of the road, but his key lead-out men are on the left-hand side. He's going to have to switch across to find them.
Did solo there in 3rd for Trek Segafredo, so he's been looked after and shepherded round extremely well up to this point.
He has indeed. Nippo Vini Fantini, very evident towards the front. They'll be riding for Michael Edward Grossu, the Romanian sprinter. Meanwhile, big move off the front now from Nibali himself, no. From Bahrain Merida, looking across, Daryl Impey, the South African national road race champion, sitting on his wheel. Then comes Tony Martin and Alex Dowsett still there, looking for Kittel, but Kittel has opted on the right-hand side of the road. Half his train is there. Meanwhile, Modolo in the prime position down the middle now from EF Education First. No sign of Caleb Ewan, but then there often is no sign of Caleb Ewan. He disappears from sight, the small man, completely at this point. If he's in the mix, he's often invisible till the last moment. 1.8 kilometres, well, it's under the Flamme Rouge now. We're in the final kilometre, and Modolo and Kittel are in pole position here with the world champion for company. And there's the white jersey of Fernando Gaviria too, beautifully positioned, biding his time. Sagan a little bit exposed, Gaviria using the world champion's wheel.
Yep, Gaviria's got himself in a great position. I'm just wondering if Kittel, he's got his teammates on the front, and I'm wondering if they're just going to be a little bit exposed too far out from the finish for Marcel Kittel to launch his sprint.
Mezgec is there, but there's no sign of Caleb Ewan as Nizzolo is down the middle of the road with Danny Van Poppel alongside him. Sasha Modolo, there's Ewan. It's finally Caleb Ewan looking across to see what's happening on the right-hand side of the road as
a bit of a dig for Team Sky as well.
he does indeed, but Kittel hits the front now. He's exposed by his team, and he's got Peter Sagan on his wheel. Kittel's going to have to do this hard way, and he is powering his way to the line. Now Sagan sprints, and now comes Kittel. Kittel takes the win from Peter Sagan in second place. Marcel Kittel, though, the winner over the line in a chaotic sprint, but finally, it's come good for Marcel Kittel on stage 2 of Tirreno Adriatico, and 2018 can begin for the big German, and that feels good. Well, what a win then for Marcel Kittel, getting the better of world champion Peter Sagan and Giacomo Nizzolo in third.
Oh man, yeah, I was waiting for such a long time for this victory now. First of all, because now, since the beginning of the season, not everything was always working perfect, and we tried very hard, and finally we got this victory as a reward. I'm very happy. The team did a really good job today. I have to say a big thank you to everyone for helping me, and I think this is a big boost for the whole group. And on the other hand, I'm also very happy because I think this is my first professional victory in Italy at all, and yeah, that makes me also very proud.
The stage winner also wearing the points classification jersey. The new general classification saw another BMC rider in the lead. Patrick Bevin's 5th place, bumping his teammate and former leader Caruso, now down into 2nd.
What's the feeling of leading such a big race?
It's a really nice feeling. Like I said, it's a really weird feeling to take a jersey off a teammate, especially one who's here to lead the race. So I don't mind babysitting it for a day, but I think as we hit tomorrow, nothing changes.
No changes in the white jersey classification either, with Fernando Gaviria still topping it. While the first green jersey of this 53rd edition went to Nicola Baggioli after just one climb. But BMC was still in charge of the race, with Patrick Bevin, the race leader, for a day at least. Stage 3 saw the peloton leave Tuscany and head for Umbria on the longest stage of the race. 239 kilometres from Follonica to Trevi across the iconic Italian hilly landscape. A continually challenging stage with 3 categorised climbs along the way before the last one placed at the finish line. A final circuit to be covered once awaited the riders, the last 300 metres topping out at over 20%. Down in Follonica, it was signing on time for everyone. Riders focused on their objectives for the day, either defending their positions on GC or looking to make gains over their rivals. Five riders got away early. Jacopo Mosca once again, Stepan Kuryanov, Nicola Baggioli, the King of the Mountains, Dennis van Winden and Sho Hatsuyama from Nippo Vinifantini. The green jersey leader duly took maximum points over the first 3 climbs of the day, enough for him to continue in green for another day. Then Patrick Bevin, the race leader, was working on the front in the service of his teammate Greg van Avermaet. Jacopo Mosca was taken by surprise and beaten at the first intermediate sprint by Kuryanov. He had to settle for 2nd place. Then on the run into Trevi, the blue jersey himself went down, the victim of a crash. His day was over. And a few kilometres further down the road, Simon Geschke also went down heavily. The German forced to retire with a broken collarbone. Jacopo Mosca took maximum points on the last intermediate sprint of the day, all but securing the points jersey overnight. But after that, it was soon over for the 5 breakaway riders. Time to join the action now with the GC race heating up towards the foot of the final climb to Trevi for the second time. And there is Peter Sagan alongside Zdenek Stuba. Philippe Gilbert looks like he's not perhaps on the best day. Miguel Lopez also just a little bit out of position now. As an attack goes, and it's George Bennett who's on the offensive. Or is it Roglic? That's Roglic, yeah, that's Primoz Roglic, one of the 2 Lotto Jumbo riders. Yeah, Primoz Roglic goes on the attack. Looked like the move is being tracked by Davide Villela, the climber, the Italian from Astana. Gareth Thomas is now the first rider from Team Sky. Greg Van Avermaet still going. This is a steep, possibly the steepest section of the entire climb up to the finish line. Roglic has the front of the race.
It's absolutely brutal, this part.
Van Avermaet's going okay though in the black and red of BMC, alongside, just tucked in behind Gareth Thomas, who's looking very comfortable. Romain Bardet alongside Vincenzo Nibali. In front of him, a rider from Movistar, Jaime Rozon. Well, Roglic has got a little bit of a gap now that's opened up. In fact, a substantial gap, and it's going out all the time. And they're looking at each other.
There's a little bit of a descent to come in a minute, just a bit of respite. But then the real steep ramps up towards the finishing file, a few hundred metres.
Well, Roglic has fallen out of contention in the general classification somewhat. He lost a whole lot of time yesterday, did Primoz Roglic. He started the day 2:30 down, 2:33 down in the general classification, but he's going to be a hard man to catch if he's got this sort of advantage, and he's continuing to grow it on this steep section, Roglic.
Well, he can climb well, and he can certainly time trial well. As a former ski jumper, he'll be able to use this this little descent as a launch pad towards the finish. Oh, and there's Sagan.
And struggling. I'm surprised to see Miguel Lopez as well in the company of Peter Sagan. Zdenek Stuba going backwards there.
Well, this is a good ride here at the moment, but well, if his legs do start to go on him, fresher riders, more powerful riders start to come from behind, he will lose time so quick to them. Team Sky looks like on the front quick. Koski is the rider. As
Van Avermaet goes, and just Gianni Moscon looked like he was twitchy as well. So this is trouble now for Primoz Roglic. Can he hold the power all the way to the finish line? Another steep section now. They're in the barriers. Van Avermaet sees himself countered in turn by Gianni Moscon. Thomas still sitting on the wheel of the Italian, goes past Van Avermaet. Thomas now into 3rd position on the wheel. Moscon trying to hunt down this move by Primoz Roglic, but still it's going to take some catching. Landa, Yates now from Mitchelton Scott in the yellow jersey, comes up alongside Thomas, past Thomas, alongside Moscon, past Moscon. Adam Yates now countering, and look how close they are to Primoz Roglic. Not far from the finish line now. We're onto the cabled cameras. Roglic just needs one more right-hand turn, but as Yates left it too late. Roglic, such a powerful ride. Dumoulin is still there. Look at that gap. Is it closable? Yates will still believe. He can see that yellow jersey and those black shorts. That's the target he has to aim at, Adam Yates. And he is flying away from the rest of the race, clear into 2nd position. One more big, sustained effort from Primoz Roglic on this climb as Tish Benoit comes into view in 3rd place. Adam Yates, can he get there? No, Roglic is going to hold on. Roglic is going to take stage 3 in Tirreno Adriatico. A brilliant, powerful ride. Adam Yates comes in 2nd place. Tish Benoit picking up 3rd place as Geraint Thomas has to settle for 4th. He's out of the bonus seconds. Coming across the line now, they continue to come. There is Wilco Kelderman across the line. Bob Jungels, Romain Bardet in that group with Chris Froome, as well as Vincenzo Nibali, Greg Van Avermaet. Then there's more gaps emerging as Fabio Aruna crosses the line with Tom Dumoulin. What a finish though for Primoz Roglic. No one finding the legs to follow the powerful Slovenian. Adam Yates settled for 2nd place. Strade Bianchi winner Tish Benoit completed the podium. Geraint Thomas was 4th ahead of Uran and Landa.
Yeah, of course. I knew that I lost already some sprints in my career, and I knew it. I shouldn't really wait till the end. I will go earlier. And I just went all out, and it was enough.
From ski jumping to Grand Tour stage winner, and now adding a stage of Tirreno Adriatico to his extraordinary career. Gareth Thomas moved into the overall lead though with the same time as runner-up Greg van Avermaet, with Team Sky looking indomitable. Chris Froome in third and Michał Kwiatkowski down in fifth.
Yeah, a bit unexpected to be honest, but the team was super strong. We had the plan to get in to the bottom of the climb with as many numbers as possible, good position. We did that really well. Everyone was really good, and yeah, it was just natural selection and just see how everyone's legs were and try and go for the stage. And but yeah, I think we can be happy with that. It's nice to get the jersey personally, and yeah, it'll be a big test tomorrow though. It'll be completely different tomorrow, long climb, first test really I think this season for a lot of guys, so yeah, I think it'll be interesting.
There's a change in the points classification courtesy of today's intermediate sprints. Jacopo Mosca moves up to 18 points in first place. And a new leader in the young riders classification with the Spaniard from Movistar, Jaime Rozon, now wearing the white jersey. In the King of the Mountains classification, Nicola Baggioni consolidated his lead, but there are still 65 points left on the road after 3 stages. A new leader yet again though on Tirreno Adriatico, with the Queen stage awaited Gareth Thomas and all the other GC hopefuls. Another long stage ahead for the peloton and the big showdown for the climbers. Stage 4, the hardest of this year's Tirreno Adriatico, 219 kilometres from Foligno to Sarnano Sassotetto. 4 KOMs along the way, some with gradients topping 15%. The race moving further inland towards the Adriatic Sea. A sawtooth profile suited for an early breakaway, but the GC riders set to fight it out on a challenging climb up to the finish line of just under 12 kilometres in length. A long, attritional approach then to that final climb. The riders would have to hold something in reserve. 6 riders quickly established the breakaway, led again by the points jersey leader Jacopo Mosca. In a group with him, Nicola Baggioni, Mads Pedersen, Christs Nylands, Alexander Vlasov and the Canadian Antoine Duchesne. Team Sky were controlling the pace at the front of the peloton. There was early trouble for Tom Dumoulin, forced to abandon following a crash. Not a week to remember for the Sunweb leader. After scoring maximum points at the first KOM, Nicola Baggioni conquered the second climb of the day as well. Team Sky all the while protecting Gareth Thomas in blue. Baggioni then took the last KOM to consolidate his lead in that competition. Meanwhile, Jacopo Mosca was the first of the breakaway to drop back after he had secured all the points on the road for the intermediate sprints. Job done for him. Nylands was the last man on the road from the breakaway group, but he too was doomed. Let's join the action with the GC leaders on the final climb, chasing the early attacker, Miguel Angel Lopez. Now the next attack comes, and it's Fabio Aru out of position, moved himself up towards the front. A little glance across from Vasil Kirienka as he sees Maika and Aru counter-attacking again. And a little glance across his left shoulder. Kirienka's been there and done this so many times before, setting the pace for his leaders from Team Sky. There's no counter-reaction yet from either Thomas or Froome or Kwiatkowski. They're content to see this group go. The advantage for Lopez is around about 10 seconds and continuing to grow. Just second by second, 10 seconds will become 12, could potentially become 15, and if this group can get together, Aru and Maika as well, that could be trouble for Team Sky. Ben Hermans, that's a good ride from him. More of a one-day racer. You don't really think of him as a real long-form climbing specialist, but he is a rider who can climb, formerly of BMC, and now the big-name rider for Israel's Cycling Academy. He goes as well. And, well, Kirienka is bringing back, it looks like, that counter-attack from Fabio Aru and Rafa Maika all the while. Now Kirienka's finished, and now it's Michał Kwiatkowski on the front. So the three GC players, as Rigoberto Urán moves closer to the front, Tish is still there. There's Adam Yates in the black with the dark blue and yellow. And then comes Chris Froome. Further back, Robert Bardet still there. There's Davide Formolo, the rider you were talking about, George Bennett. Damiano Caruso. Nibali's not been able to do anything to affect this race, and Rafa Majka still got a bit of distance between him and Lopez, but it's starting to hurt now. The pole is starting to pay for that attack. And Aru and Hermans, who's still part of that move, getting across to the pole. 23 seconds now Rafa Majka has, which means that Fabio Aru has a little bit less than that, maybe 19, 18 seconds. Aru, as you've said quite rightly, the best placed of those riders in the general classification. 53 seconds down as an attack goes now from Mikel Landa. Landa is a GC player at a big danger. Landa starts today just 44 seconds down on Gareth Thomas's blue jersey, and we know all about how dangerous this man now riding for Movistar can be. And if anyone needs to know, or knows already how dangerous Mikel Landa can be, that man is Chris Froome, who knows everything about his former teammate. And the attack has come. And I wonder if Landa can ride across to that group, or whether he's just going to solo his way into a gap and then not manage to close it. And still, Lopez can't get across to Rafa Majka. Lopez just come to a grinding halt. I don't know if that's mechanical or a body failure. It looks like he might have just run out of steam, but he seems to stop alarmingly quickly there.
Yeah, I think he might have had a mechanical, I'm not sure, or a bit of cramp. But, well, this group really has whittled down now. And, well, Kwiatkowski, it's all about him. Chris Froome seems to be out of the picture. He's dropped back. So the further up this climb we go, the more and more isolated the race leader is.
21 seconds separate the front of the race, still with Rafa Majka to the blue jersey of Gareth Thomas. Landa's trying to bridge across. And if Landa does get across, there's Chris Froome going backwards. So the man with number 1 on his back for Team Sky, the 4-time Tour de France winner, is the first of the GC riders from Team Sky to show visible signs of distress. First time Landa shows signs of the effort. Now that's under 23 seconds, is it? Possibly 12, 30, 40.
Half of that, I think.
Adam Yates still poised on the wheel of the blue jersey. I thought there was another attack coming from Movistar there. It looked like Jaime Rozon in the white jersey looked twitchy, as if he was about to attack, but in fact he was just getting out of the saddle and then seated again. Landa hasn't managed to dispense with any of these riders.
Bardet, by the looks of it, has a launch off the front of the peloton.
There he goes. Robert Bardet draws out a reaction from George Bennett. Domenico Pozzovivo is there, and so too is Damiano Caruso from BMC and Wilco Kelderman. Team Sky at the moment, just distanced by that. Michał Kwiatkowski drops off. There, once again, is the blue jersey, the race leader, Gareth Thomas. Misfortune for him. He throws his arm up in disgust as Chris Froome looks in surprise to see his teammate and the race leader there stood by the side of the road waiting for a spare bike. How many times has this happened to Gareth Thomas in the past? They're within the final kilometres now, in the barriered section. Still anyone's race. Ben Hermans is still in with a shout, although he has started to go backwards. And Bennett, the New Zealander, could it be 2 races in a row for Lotto Jumbo? It was Primož Roglič yesterday, and it's George Bennett leading Rafa Majka and Mikel Landa into the final 250 metres of this race now. Holding it to the view, the final 100 metres as they turn left-handed is downhill. Still, now Rafa Majka passes Bennett. Bennett still not out of it, still trying now. Mikel Landa racing into pole position as they take the final turn and line themselves up towards the finish line. And Landa finds the little acceleration that breaks the challenge of Rafa Majka. And George Bennett has time to zip up, take the win, and we'll stop the clock now. He takes 10 seconds time bonus, Mikel Landa, riding himself back into contention. Now Aru crosses the line, Hermans, Tish-Benoot, Bardet, and now Michał Kwiatkowski comes over the line. A first win of the season then for the Spaniard, and a touching tribute to his friend and former Astana teammate Michele Scarponi. The leader Gareth Thomas missing out on the blue jersey after dropping a chain. But it was a great race for Rafa Majka and George Bennett. The big loser of the day was Chris Froome in 23rd, 1:10 down on the winner.
Yeah, I saw Sky with numbers, and I decided to wait a little bit, because yeah, we were a little bit far from the finish line when Lopez attacked, So I decided to wait a little bit and keep other riders working and wait to the final attack.
A great win for the Spanish rider against his former team. Well, the stage result allowed Damiano Caruso back into the race lead, now only 1 second ahead of Michał Kwiatkowski. Stage winner Landa into 4th position, 20 seconds behind former blue jersey leader Gareth Thomas, now 26 seconds in lead. Tish Benoot was the new white jersey leader, and there were no changes in the other classifications. So unexpectedly, back in blue after the Queen stage, would Damiano Caruso be able to carry it all the way to San Benedetto del Tronto? Stage 5 was a tribute to Michele Scarponi, tragically killed in a training accident last year. 178 kilometres from Castelraimondo to Filotrano, the hometown of the Italian rider. Another hilly stage dotted with 4 categorised climbs, culminating in a tough finale, including the Muro di Filotrano, to be covered 3 times, with gradients topping 16% before the finish line on a cobbled road in the old centre. After almost unbroken sunshine so far in Tirreno Adriatico, stage 5 started in damp conditions with blustery winds from the coast. A 5-man break went clear, featuring Dario Cataldo from Astana, Ilio Kesa of Quickstep, Igor Boev of Gazprom Rusvelo, Christian Corrin of Bahrain Merida, and Steve Morabito from Groupama FDJ. The bunch allowed them close to 7 minutes before pegging the move. Dario Cataldo won the first 2 King of the Mountains of the day. The breakaway group now reduced to 4 men after Boev lost contact. The sun finally came out. Meanwhile, the Astana rider cleared the 3rd KOM, the first ascent of the Filotrano wall. And now in a solo effort, Cataldo conquered the last climb, after which he was soon caught. Chris Froome suffered a mechanical problem with 5 kilometres to go. Time to join the action with the leaders on the final climb to the finish line. Here comes Michał Kwiatkowski now, rider 174 in the white jersey, alongside Peter Sagan, the world champion, moving closer to the front, but up to that group containing Landa, and there's a little selection that's going away. It's Adam Yates now, right at the front of the race, with Gareth Thomas on his wheel. Behind him, I think it's Alexei Lutsenko from Astana. Here comes Thomas and Lutsenko. There's the Movistar chase behind him with Rafa Majka and Michał Kwiatkowski moving closer to his teammate. Yates, though, at the front and beginning to ride clear on the steepest slopes of this wall leading into the finish line now. 3.8 kilometres to go. Big attack from Adam Yates. Has to make this stick. Won't be able to go again because he's leaving everything in this one big attack. Set up by Mitchelton Scott. Yates is riding clear. This is the moment he chose to attack. He'd run out of teammates. One by one, they all popped off. A little glance at Lutsenko, and off he goes, the young British climber.
Well, Adam Yates 14th at 50 seconds. It's all about the stage win, and well, what will come of it, because he'll have time bonus as well, 10 seconds on the line. Could be getting himself right back up there for general classification.
Yeah, he's doing damage to everyone. You can see that group has stalled. The chase has all come back together again. Further back down the road, Gareth Thomas, I can see just looking over to see where Michał Kwiatkowski is. That's going to be a cagey fight now in that second group, but they are watching Adam Yates just disappear up the road, and surely this is a race-winning move at this point. Can anyone counter-attack? If so, they're going to have to do it now. He's on the more forgiving gradients now. He's over the really steep part of the climb, but it climbs all the way up to the top, dips down again, and within the final kilometre there's more climbing to be done as Aru gets out of the almost out of the saddle and into his climbing groove now in that chase group. 3.4 kilometres to go for Adam Yates.
Well, you can just see in the chase group, just at the bottom of the shot, the race leader, current race leader Caruso is still there. But it's all about Adam Yates at the moment.
Caruso's job is just to look at Kwiatkowski, stay on Kwiatkowski's wheel and hope that Michał Kwiatkowski doesn't pick up third place or better and pick up bonus seconds. There's the blue jersey, almost going out of your shot now in about 9th position, but Kwiatkowski is 5-6 riders in front of him, just tucked in behind Gareth Thomas and in front of the world champion Peter Sagan. Sepp Vanmarker's still there, sitting on the wheel of Vincenzo Nibali with Pozzovivo in front of him and Greg Van Avermaet going backwards. There's Caruso, and look at him react. I told you had to look for that wheel, and there he is, just sitting on Gareth Thomas now and Michał Kwiatkowski. That's a perfect ride from Caruso thus far. Big attack further back down the road by Landa though, goes past Lutsenko as he left it too late, riding into 2nd position on the road. Draws out Rafa Majka. Majka was 2nd to Mikel Landa on the big climb yesterday, and Majka is now in 3rd place on the road, but both of them have to make up 18 seconds if they're going to get across to Adam Yates, who is flying towards the finish line, almost unopposed. Landa left that attack very late.
$1K to go now for the Mitchelton Scott rider, Adam Yates.
Got through the Flamme Rouge without it collapsing on his head as it did in the Tour de France in not dissimilar circumstances a couple of years ago. But Adam Yates now is riding towards victory on Tirreno Adriatico. His brother, just a couple of days ago, Simon Yates, took victory in Paris-Nice. This time, though, it's Adam with a fighting chance of victory here, but it's not a done deal. And it looks like he's beginning to struggle, Yates. His body language suggests that he has gone very, very deep here, and he might just be beginning to lose some of his momentum. How far back is Alexei Lutsenko? Does Yates know he's there? Well, he'd be best advised, I think, just to forget about Alexei Lutsenko and do battle with himself.
Yep, don't look back, just keep going, just deliver that effort.
Oh, no, he's okay. Surely he's okay. I mean, they're well within the final kilometre now. Lutsenko, if anything, sees the danger coming back from that chase group towards him. No Rafa Majka there any longer, but the world champion is being led out by Davide Formano. Now he looks over his shoulder, and round that little corner, he might not even see Lutsenko in the chase group, and he might just feel that victory is his. Coming towards that point where they ironed out that hairpin, he'll go straight on, straight ahead and through the finishing arch, and then he'll spy the finishing line not too far from him now. Round the corner, you can't even see Lutsenko, but maybe he just glimpsed a little flash of blue there, but Lutsenko, I don't think is going to get across to Yates here, and Yates can start to think about his victory celebration.
Well, time bonus is going to come in here as Geraint Thomas has Kwiatkowski in the wheel.
Blue jersey still there, Damiano Caruso still in that group and still looking confident and controlled and composed, which is exactly what you could say about this man. Adam Yates doing what his brother did the other day in France, taking victory in Paris-Nice. Well, he does exactly the same in Tirreno Adriatico, winning this stage. Now let's see the battle for 2nd place. It's Peter Sagan who picks up 2nd place, and it looks like Michał Kwiatkowski picked up 3rd place and a bonus 2nd, and if that's the case, Michał Kwiatkowski has just ridden himself into the race lead on stage 5 of Tirreno Adriatico. So Adam Yates was the strongest man on the climb. Peter Sagan won the sprint for 2nd place ahead of Michał Kwiatkowski and Tish Benoit.
Yeah, I've been feeling good for a few days now. I tried a couple of stages ago and yeah, came up short in 2nd. So obviously the legs are good, and the team set me up perfectly. We rode into the bottom of the last climb in good position, and yeah, all I had to do was attack and try and hold off the bunch. So yeah, everything fell into place. Super job by the guys, and yeah, I just finished it off.
An impressive win for the Englishman. Michał Kwiatkowski took the overall lead from Damiano Caruso, now 3 seconds behind the Sky rider. Mikel Landa completed the podium places. Nicola Baggioli secured the mountains competition, and there was no change in the points jersey. So the Polish rider was back in blue with the time trial in San Benedetto expected to be decisive for the GC battle. Day 6 was a transitional stage across the Marche region. 153 kilometres from Numana to Fano. A rolling first half with 2 small categorised climbs, and the last kilometre flattening out into a 12.8 kilometre circuit to be covered twice. A straightforward day expected to conclude with a bunch sprint showdown between the usual suspects. So an easy day for the title contenders on the cards, they hoped, ahead of the final push. In the opening kilometres, Marcus Burkhardt went away, taking with him three hopefuls: Jacopo Mosca, Christensen Islands and Arthur Lidge. The Italian claimed unopposed the first intermediate sprint of the day to put the orange jersey effectively out of reach. Marcus Burkhardt attacked with 75 kilometres still to run. His former breakaway companions chased for a while, but they were soon caught. Then Greg van Avermaet led out Patrick Bevan for the intermediate sprint on the first lap of the circuit to deny the blue jersey of Michał Kwiatkowski any possible time bonus. And with 10 kilometres to go, Fernando Gaviria sparked a massive pile-up in the middle of the bunch alongside Peter Sagan, who escaped, but the race was suddenly split in two. Let's see how it panned out with what was left of the peloton ready for battle and the world champion trying to get back into it.
Well, it's all about the lead out now, and this is quick. And, well, certainly if you were the Katusha Sport Director, you'd be saying, listen, guys, you've got to take this up and you've got to take it early, because you don't want to get that man, you don't want to allow him in the world's jersey, Peter Sagan, up towards the front and get his second wind. You've got to keep him under pressure. And
he's not panicking, is he, Sagan? He is not going absolutely into the red. He's not out of his saddle and sprinting for position. He's just squeezing the pedals and just picking off the numbers one by one as he weaves his way back up through the pack. Where is that rainbow jersey now? Trying to pick it out. There he is. Still some way back, though, isn't he? And still, surely that's an unrecoverable position with 2.2k to go, and now Alex Dowsett from Katusha Alpecin squeezing the pace on the front. That's the moment, though, and watch Gaviria goes down, and Sagan just about gets around him, and I thought he was okay, but clearly not quite as they go left-handed now. Ryan Mullen and Jasper Stuyven trying to set things up for Trek Segafredo and Bob Jungels and Davide Cimolai. Don't forget about him from Groupama FDJ.
Well, that looks like Gareth Thomas down there, and it's on his wheel is Sagan.
Thomas is back in the pack, which is pretty remarkable. Two riders recovering their position, and look how close he is now to the front.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. What has he got left?
Sagan is there or thereabouts, and if he picks the wheel, oh, they go right-handed. Picks that, and that Sagan is just bunny hopping across, and that probably earned him a couple more positions, showing off all his bike handling skills. Now he's only 2 wheels back from the wheel of Marcel Kittel with 1.4k to go. If Sagan gets on Kittel's wheel, then Kittel has a problem.
I can't take this anymore. This is nuts.
Harum-scarum stuff, isn't it? Mullen on the front now from Trek Segafredo. 2 national champions. After him comes Bob Jungels. Riding for whom? For Max Richese, one can only imagine. Yeah, there's 3 riders from Quick Step to the fore. Richese being the last of them now, with Stubar leading him out. Then comes Rick Zabel, then Marcel Kittel. And after that, you've got the world champion with Sasha Modolo and Sonny Colbrelli and Jens Kuckelera all lined up behind him, with Davide Cimolai also there. There's Sagan. Watch out for Peter Sagan. He is on one of those extraordinary days. He's got Jens Kuckelera, long-range attack now from EF Education First, and Sasha Modolo, still one man to work with him. Jasper Stuyven makes a move on the right-hand side as well from Trek Segafredo. Right-handed now and in towards the finishing line. It is Bob Jungels and Quick Step who have control over the front of the race, but Katusha Alpecin once more just a little bit off the pace. Rick Zabel biding his time, finds himself behind Kittel. Kittel has picked the wheel of Richese, and now they've only got 350 metres to go. Richese opens up a gap. Kittel's got to close that gap. Sagan on Kittel's wheel. Richese has Stubar leading him out. There goes Max Richese. Can Kittel close that gap and get past it? Marcel Kittel now opens up his sprint. Sagan on his wheel. Sagan drawing level with Kittel. Sagan and Kittel. Kittel, I think, just holding off the world champion, who settles for second place again. But my word, that was close. So a second win for the German at this Tirreno Adriatico, once again ahead of Peter Sagan, who this time also had to change his back wheel.
We tried to focus on our goal, on the stage win and on the sprint, and that worked very good. I think the boys did a really, really good job in the final. I'm very, very proud on the team today. There was really nothing to complain about. We controlled the race. We really had one goal. We worked as one team. Everyone gave 110%, and I'm very happy to win this stage for the team as well.
And with 2 wins in a week, the Katusha train was now running smoothly. No changes in the top 10 on GC. Ahead of the final stage, Michał Kwiatkowski retained a 3-second advantage on Damiano Caruso, the Pole, trying to make it more, but he was denied by the BMC team. So, would the Sky Rider maintain his lead over the remaining 10 kilometres of racing? And so at last we reached the finale of this 2018 Tirreno Adriatico. The clock was set for the showdown. It was the race against the clock to find out who would be the 2018 winner. The traditional 10-kilometre individual time trial in San Benedetto del Tronto, the usual out and back circuit, a completely flat route. Not so much about technique as raw power. A tight battle for the general classification and a field packed with time trialling talent. Australian champion Rowan Dennis of BMC set the fastest time. Before that is, the rain started. Time to find out the outcome of Tirreno Adriatico, with Gareth Thomas and Mikel Landa out on the course and the top 2 in GC about to start. But now we really are at the business end of this race. Damiano Caruso is off the start ramp, and 2 minutes later, Michał Kwiatkowski will start his time trial. 10 kilometres then for Damiano Caruso to do something to wrestle this all back his way. Into the blue jersey after the opening team time trial, deposing Mitchelton Scott from the hot seat. BMC once again the first team across the line in Lido di Camaiore, and once again it was Damiano Caruso who took the race lead in the blue jersey, unexpectedly perhaps back into the blue jersey after an excellent ride on the Queen stage. Breathing deeply, Michał Kwiatkowski, dressed in blue, in the race lead. Can he do it again? Already the winner of a stage race this year, former world road race champion Michał Kwiatkowski. He's got 10 kilometres to try and win Tirreno Adriatico to add to his Tour of the Algarve victory from earlier on this season. Davide Formula from Border Hansgrohe, the Italian rider, home and hosed, finished 58 seconds down on Rowan Dennis's time. I think that Rowan Dennis can probably start to relax. Gareth Thomas is going to run him pretty close, but I think Dennis might well be thinking the stage win once again is mine. The question is, with Gareth Thomas flying up the road like this, what gains can he make in the general classification? He needs 6 seconds to overtake Mikel Landa. 4:58, so he's pretty much through the split time in the same time as Gareth Thomas, and that indicates that he's on an absolute flyer.
1 second slower than Gareth Thomas.
But that is quick, so Caruso's flying. Yeah. He comes over maybe just about top 10, he might hang on to that standings, but that's an excellent time trial.
Well, 9 seconds he lost on the way out, so he lost a little bit on the way back.
11:37 Gareth Thomas's time. Mikel Landa now knows what he needs to do. Mikel Landa, stage victory in the Queen stage at Sanano. 250 metres to go for him. And, well, I'm just looking down the general classification and trying to figure out whether or not he might actually slip even further down the rankings. Rigoberto Urán, for example, who was already in, just needed to gain 11 seconds on Mikel Landa, and it could be that at the end of all this, Mikel Landa finds himself down in 5th or even 6th as he stops the clock in provisional 86th place, 1 minute and 10 seconds. So he's lost, for example, 14 seconds to Adam Yates as well. So there's going to be a rejigging of the general classification standings, and Landa's going to be the wrong end of it. He's dropped off the podium standings altogether now. Damiano Caruso, 1 kilometre to go for him. Rowan Dennis has got a complicated PR job to do here, hasn't he? Does he look happy because he's honing in on a stage victory, or does he commiserate with Damiano Caruso, who had a chance of snatching victory away from Michał Kwiatkowski? But I don't think, unless something dramatic's happened to Kwiatkowski's form, that it's going to quite work out for Damiano Caruso. Still, probably, in fact, definitely the best time trial of his life as he comes towards the line. He is going to stop the clock now in just within 12 minutes, 11:55, provisional 36th place, and that means that Michał Kwiatkowski can only afford to come in what, 11:58 is his target time. Otherwise, he's lost too much time to Damiano Caruso. Very, very good individual time trialist, former national champion in his own right, I think on 2 occasions in Poland. Kwiatkowski had it all to do. Only 3 seconds separating him from Damiano Caruso, but he's going to be all right here. He's not going to threaten Dennis's time, that is gone. He's falling down the provisional standings. If he gets in under 11:58, victory is his, and it's going to be confirmed now as Michał Kwiatkowski, wearing the blue of the race league, crosses the line and wins Tirreno Adriatico for 2018. It's confirmed. The job is done for Team Sky. They came here with Chris Froome, with Gareth Thomas, their main hopes. But you know what? Michał Kwiatkowski has proved once again, and for the second time in this season, that he too can win stage races. The win went to form again for the second year in succession. Rowan Dennis prevailing over Jos van Emden. 4 seconds his margin of victory over the Dutchman.
To be honest, I was nervous about it, and I was looking at the best times on this course, thinking, okay, what do I need to aim for? And in the end, I just said, look, I need to try go faster than last year to win, and I was right to say that because Jos did the same time as me last year, and if I didn't beat my time, he would have won today.
The final GC saw Landa slipping to 6th, Thomas moving up to 3rd, with Caruso just about holding on to 2nd. Kwiatkowski's advantage grew in the end to 24 seconds.
Oh, that's my most important, I would say, stage race victory. You know, so far I won twice Volta Algarve, which is not World Tour, but this is you know, beautiful race with beautiful trophy. You know, Tirreno Adriatico is one of the hardest stage races to win, so I'm really happy to be in the first step of the podium. That's, yeah, you know, wonderful feeling to have this Trident trophy with me.
Nicola Baggioli confirmed his win in the Mountains jersey 2 days ago. The biggest moment of his developing career. Jacopo Mosca was his nearest rival, 10 points further back. And it was Mosca who held on in the end to victory in the points competition, beating prestigious opponents in Peter Sagan and Marcel Kittel into the minor placings. There was, however, a tight tussle in the white jersey competition, with Jaime Rozon unable to close the gap to Tish Benoot in the final time trial. The Belgian's 8-second buffer at the beginning of the stage was 9 seconds by the end. But Kwiatkowski became the first Sky rider ever to win Tirreno Adriatico and the first pole. The biggest stage race win of his career from a rider whose versatility is matched only by his blistering talent.